Hey, and welcome to another edition of the Gridiron Fantasy Football Podcast. My name's Huck Breeze, and I'm joined here by Scott Sheddick. Once again, Scott, how are you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. We are doing it on a Wednesday today instead of a Thursday because tomorrow I have tickets to, I think opening day is today, but to Jurassic Park, the new one that has come out. I don't know if you've heard anything.
I haven't heard anything yet. I'm actually probably going to go see it in theaters maybe next weekend.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to it as well.
So this is something that you are interested in. This you like Jurassic Parks.
Oh yeah, yeah. I definitely love Jurassic Parks. The good ones, the bad ones, and it's definitely kind of a grand kind of movie, that I would like to see on a big screen. There's
Yeah.
certain movies like I don't care to see a comedy in movies. I really don't. I like there's no need
Well,
to see
there's
it on
not
a big
many
screen.
comedies anyway
But
anymore. Comedy is dead right now for like the last
well,
like
yeah,
5 or 6 years. I mean,
yeah.
name one. I mean, really, like August 1st, Naked Gun comes out. Okay, you don't want to see that in theaters, fine, but it's a movie I have to see. It's going to be amazing. Um,
Even that one,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know if I'd see it in theaters, but Jurassic Park, I definitely want to see in theaters. Like, I watch, grand scale movies I like to see in theaters. So,
If you don't mind me asking, what's the last movie you saw in theaters?
what's the last movie I saw? I think Twisters? No.
Damn, that was a long time ago.
I know it's a little bit ago. I want to say I saw something else more recent, but possibly not. Yeah, it might have been the last one I saw. What about yourself?
Before this was, gosh, it was a
And
kids
I meant the
movie.
new Twisters, not the one in 1995.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I know it was
Yeah.
not 30 years ago.
Okay.
Um, Gosh, what was the last kids movie I went to see?
You
Totally
see
blanking on.
Elio or something?
It
Or
was no, Moana 2? No.
yeah, yeah, I saw you guys post about that. So yeah.
We did Moana 2, but there was something else. I don't know. Inside Out 2, but we saw that. It's a lot of kids films, and it's good stuff, but yeah, we're going to see Jurassic Park tomorrow. Anyway, let's get into some fantasy football before we jump into round two of our mock draft predictions. Just talking about our upcoming Superflex draft going round by round. Let's talk about team names and icons. So we've got some creative people in our league, right? They uh, can make you laugh. They have some good ideas. They're not particularly bland people. Uh, how important do you think it is to establish a brand, come up with a clever team name, and make sure you continue with it year after year? Considering we're going into year what, 23? Do you think that's something important?
Um, I think it can help with your reputation in the league. I think it could definitely when you're trying to maybe make trades or um, you know, kind of throw your weight around a little bit and when we're deciding on things, it could help with that. But eh, ultimately, it's really what you bring to the table, with your record that's really going to speak for you at the end of the
Sure.
day. Um, I'm not opposed to changing names, for instance, but
Yeah.
it's just it's to each their own. It's you're the owner of the team. If you wanted to move the team from Baltimore to Indianapolis, you could do that. It's
Okay.
your team.
That's a good comparison.
So
Uh, do you think after a championship, changing your team name is acceptable? Like your name's on the trophy. I mean, you've done it.
yeah,
So do you have any regrets
no,
about that?
no.
Do
I
you
mean
wish it was
those
Darth Scott in your original?
no, because those teams were those teams. Those
Okay.
teams were um, the Lord's Force and what was the other one? I would have to. It,
Yeah, it wasn't the Sun God, was it?
no,
It
it
was
was
Never
some.
Say Never, I thought.
No way. No, Never Say Never got like last, I think.
Where yours was 2014,
In
2012, right?
2012.
Steel
Yeah.
Curtain.
Steel Curtain. There we go. Yeah.
Steel Curtain.
Yeah. So, those are those teams that's never really something I want to go again. Now, like if I win again, it's Darth Scott, though. I might keep that now, just because now it's kind of something I really identify moving forward. And those teams are something identified as those years. I feel like.
Hmm.
So,
Well, I mean, yeah, you've stuck with them for a good amount of time here, and this is something that you've been committed to for a while, which is like why I'm asking the questions because I thought you'd be like, well, if I really had Darth Scott, prior, and uh, if I would have stuck with that since like 2006, 2007, 2008, it would have been better. I didn't do that, but now I found my name, and that's why I changed it. But I just feel like you're saying if you win a championship this year as Darth Scott, 2026 could be something totally new,
could
or
be. I
will
could I
be
could stick
something
with it.
totally new.
Not necessarily. Like I
Oh,
said, I might stick with the name. I'm not saying if I win, I'll change. I'm just saying I wouldn't necessarily go back and change those. Those are championship years with those teams.
gotcha. What do you look for in a team name? Do you like the ones that are named after players that people they probably search and Google like these are the people I drafted, come up with something clever, or are you somebody that likes um, a little bit more creativity?
It depends. Like I said, I mean, I had different team names before, so it really depends on what the person is going through at that point. If they identify with "Suck My Vic" for multiple years and want to change it later, they could do that. If they want to be, just grab and swish them, then that's what they're feeling that year.
Hmm.
I like seeing the variety because we have some that are pretty staunch into their names, like yourself and Sex Raptor or the Maestro, for instance, Fupa Slayer, things like that. Even I mean, it seems like Camacho is no longer a president anymore, for instance, and then you
Right.
have Max, for instance, going through the presidents, which is a pretty cool thing to do as well. So, I like the variety. I like the variety
Mm.
because sometimes we get Pac-Man's posse and
Oh, that was a good
a,
one.
wo- a woke with a boner apparently.
Now you're just
uh,
naming my brother's teams from about 20 years ago. So
yeah, I know, but like they're there. So
yeah, that's true.
and then you have Brad with U-Bat randomly, so
Yes.
there's, like I said, I like the variety because I think we have a good split. What do you
So
think? What do you
I
what do you think?
I'm somebody who likes something clever. I like uh maybe something related to football. If it's not related to football, then something related to some kind of media or something like that. But something that flows with a team name where a stranger, would say, what's your fantasy football team name? And you tell them, they're like, that's great. That's awesome. Um, Mine, I would say that I wouldn't be Sex Raptor if I didn't win a championship in 2010. Sex Raptor was a song that I was listening to before that. I thought that was a great song. Is one of my favorite songs at the time. And now, for the past 15 years, it's been my team name because I'm not going to change because it's on the trophy. I'm one of those people where it's like it's kind of stuck with that. Would I ever
Mhm.
consider a rebrand? Yeah, I would. But it'd have to be like, man, I'm losing for a long time, and this just isn't working out, and I just need to lose the stink that is Sex Raptor. Um, I feel like people who lose for a long time really need to like lose that stink and be like, I don't
Get
want to
rid
be
of the
known as
stink.
this.
You got to
I
change
don't.
something up. You got to change it
Yeah,
up. Yeah, like
I
when
don't want to be known as the team that lost, or didn't make the playoffs 4 years in a row with this team name. I
like
need to get something fresh.
if you're the Detroit Lions, you're just like, all right, guys, we're starting over. We haven't made the
Yes,
Super Bowl ever. We've got a pretty good team right now. We just got to change the name and the mascot because this is crap.
and the quarterback and the wide receivers. Yeah, you
So
do whatever you can to change things up. I think that those, that kind of creativity I really like. I can't stand, and we don't have a lot of this in our
And
in
you
our.
can't stand it, folks.
I cannot stand. It grinds my gears when people make a team name after somebody that's on their team. I
What if they're not
can't.
even on their team? How does that make you feel?
That is pretty rough as well. I know Hedman was Suck My Vic for a long time, and Michael Vick was retired or in jail or something, and that I was like, wow, that is so lazy and it's just awful. You know,
Uh,
if you ever are in a work environment and you get in like the company fantasy football league, you'll notice that like half the fantasy football team names are that. And I'm not like trying to shit on fantasy football, like work environments. I'm just saying they're all
uh,
like, Jack Me Goff or something just absolutely
I don't think I would use
weird.
that one on a work league. I'm just saying.
I think in one of my leagues, it might have been a work one, but somebody was touchdown my pants. Um, and I'm like, you shouldn't be
Not
doing
safe
this.
for work.
But yeah, those just like, come on. We know you drafted, you immediately went to Google right after that, and you searched cool team names, Travis Kelsey, cool team names, Patrick Mahomes. It's like chilling with Mahomies, and I'm just like, wow, you are just a terrible, terrible, terrible fantasy football team namer.
You're gonna lose because your team
I
name
hope
is
you
dumb.
lose because I don't want your name on any trophy. This is
Oh,
just
it's terrible.
embarrassing. All right, I want you to pick one team name in our league that's the best and one that you think is just god awful. And give an
Oh, it's
honorable
terrible. I'm not.
mention.
Well,
You
no.
can.
I mean, I don't. I don't think any of them are god awful.
Oh, I
Um,
see. I see some. This is pretty bad.
some that like just don't make any sense to me. I would have to put in that basket. Like Last Man Standing means nothing to me, and so does Unicycle Polar Bears. That
Mm,
doesn't. I don't. What is that? What is what is this? You
right.
know. Honorable mention. I love Rum Ham just because it's such a funny episode of Sunny.
Yeah.
It's really
It's his
good.
team name,
Um,
literally, in
yeah.
some way or form in every fancy, like a cross sport,
I'm gonna have to throw
baseball, football, hockey,
Disco
basketball.
Lemonade in the what is Disco Lemonade? What's
It's that song, "Sex and Candy" by Marcy Playground.
Oh, of course.
And it's not even the name. Well,
It's not even the name of the song. It's just a
it's not
line
even the
in
name of the
it.
song. It's a
Yeah.
line within the song,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
yeah,
I'm just saying we're getting okay. Okay. I mean, we're getting a
yeah,
little obscure. Is all.
we are.
Um.
And there are some, yeah. If
Um.
is that your pick for like, oh God, this is terrible.
No, all three of them are. Rum Ham gets honorable mention though.
For
Um.
good, right? You
Yeah,
love it.
Rum Ham is good. Yeah, I love good. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a good one.
But which
Um.
one? So Disco Lemonade is one where you're just like, this is
I
just
don't.
not
I
good.
don't get it. Yeah, that
Yeah.
one with Unicycle Polar Bears and Last Man Standing. I feel like we could get something better.
Yes.
After
I.
20 years, that's what you're coming to the table with.
Mhm.
After 23 years, whatever. So it. I feel
Yeah.
like you could do better. That's all.
I
Um,
was I, I was actually gonna pick Disco Lemonade because I think it's just uh,
that's
I
not.
don't
It's
know.
like it's not that I hate it. I'm just kind of like.
I mean,
Like I
he's
would
had it
rather.
for a
I would
while.
rather it be like a stupid pun of a player's name than just something I'm just like ah. I would rather be like, damn it, you jacked me off.
Jack me off. I'll just jack me off. No, uh, uh, but no, but yeah, I was gonna pick Disco Lemonade because it's just it's not even the name of the song. It's just like you didn't even know what it is, like even though you know that song, right? You know probably most of the lyrics, you could sing along with it, and then yet you're like, what is that?
Well, to be fair, I didn't know that Sex Raptor was a song, but I didn't need to because
Right.
it's pretty. It's violent and
It's
in a
sexy.
weird and provocative
Yeah.
way. Yeah, so it's like
Yes.
I don't know what he's trying to do there, but I respect it. So
I
it's
would I like I said, I would change it if I mean I would go back in time and change it. I would.
back in time.
If
That's
I
what you
could.
do. Somebody gives you a time machine. You're going back in time, change the team name.
And yeah, so I can etch something else in the trophy. Please. Uh I
But
think the worst in our league is
fucking
I'm gonna go with Breadbasket. I'm
breadbasket.
sorry.
His name
Brad,
is bread, though.
I get it, but Brad is he makes team names uh based on stuff he sees. Like he's driving down the road. So Breadbasket was a gas station or convenience store, and he like saw it and decided that was going to be his team name. If you look at
Uh,
like old team names of his, like uh in baseball, it's Wild Card. So it's just that episode of Always Sunny where Charlie jumps out the back
yeah,
of a
wow,
van and it's
car.
just Wild Card. You're right, and so it's just like I need you to like sit down and think about what you're doing and just kind of like
He's like, well,
come
rum
with that.
ham. Everybody loves rum ham, so let me find another kind of similar adjacent.
Right.
I see what
Yeah.
he's trying to
So
do there. I see what he's going with there. But
yeah.
I think the real thing to me is it's got to identify with you as well. You know, I mean, do you identify as a wild card, Brad? I don't know.
No, I I think there's a bit of apathy where it's just like I don't care. I that is not something I really care
That's
about. And
true.
I think Hedman with Last Man Standing the same thing because Last Man Standing was his first team name ever. He's
I think he
changed
only
within
changed
there.
it because like the group chat berated him about suck my Vic for a little bit.
Exactly. So there's people like Disco Lemonade and Unicycle Polar Bears who would be like, "You don't like my team name? It'll be my team name forever. I will love it
In
forever."
spite of you.
Yes, and I think
Yeah,
they're
why
listening
have a
to this.
name for a team name for spite though? It just seems
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
a spite name. I mean,
it's a spite name.
it's a spite name, right?
It's called what it is.
I think the best is Eternal Touchdown. I think touchdown that
I
goes
do like
forever.
Eternal Touchdown. I
Touchdown or like a touchdown that goes on forever is just a fantastic team name, right?
yeah. No, it
That's what
is.
we're
It
looking
is. It's
for.
great. It's a great
Is
team name.
is touchdowns,
I
right?
do miss Furry Palms though. That was a good
Uh-huh.
one.
Furry Palms was good. We've also had Bloody Palmers.
No, that's true.
Uh,
Yeah.
was when Danny fell down at the airport and bloodied his palms on the way to the draft and decided to name his team Bloody Palmers, which at least it has a story, right? So that you
True.
can explain.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of the other stuff that we have here is just kind of like media based or
Mm-hmm.
something along those lines.
Right.
Um, yeah. Okay. All right. Good chat about team names. Let's talk about something near and dear and close to your heart, which is the Steelers.
Oh my.
Um, so how do I put this? So let's talk about the trades first, or the trade that they had just made. Who won this trade? So it was Jalen Ramsey and Johnny Smith for Minka Fitzpatrick. Which side do you like better as a Steelers fan?
I mean, I think Steelers definitely won on that. Minka Fitzpatrick really has not been producing over the past few years, and they said it's because of scheme and this and that and the other and whatever it is. He's basically just being paid to tackle and being paid a lot of money to tackle as safety. And so, if we can get basically, we get 2 for 1, and they traded some a fifth rounder and a seventh round or something, so essentially meaningless. And then it fits into the scheme a lot better because the safeties don't have to do much if you have shutdown corners. Because if between Jalen Ramsey, Joey Porter Jr., and Darius Slay, if they can make the quarterback wait an extra second or two longer, then Watt or somebody should be able to get home and sack the quarterback. So I definitely think it's a win. And Johnny Smith definitely adds another weapon to play 11 personnel, 2 tight ends on the field, which will be beneficial for both the offense and Old Man Rogers. So I think it was a good move. I just at the same time I'm a little baffled because I'm kind of like, why go all in this season? But because
Is
I
it
still
really
don't.
all in though? Do you really think this is all in?
It's a lot of chips forward. It's I don't know because I would rather be stacking draft picks because like some for with some of these moves honestly and things like that. But it's more all in than we were. And to me,
Yeah.
it's still like yes, it moves our chips. It's like going all it's not good because we're moving our chips a little bit further, but not nowhere near to the head of the table. We're not going to be able to beat Mahomes, Allen, Jackson in the playoffs or Burrow. All like 'cause you have to do 3 out of 4 basically,
Yeah. Yeah. No,
and
absolutely.
so
You'd have to get
and
really lucky to do that. First, you have to win your division, which I just don't even think you guys can
that
beat.
that's not impossible because we know our division. That's not hard. It's when you're playing Ravens right after playing the Chiefs or vice versa and things like that. That's when it gets
Mhm.
tricky. Because I've seen the Steelers win the division with the worst team. It's not that hard.
Yeah, you play
Um,
defense. They
yeah,
got to play good defense.
because if they just if they can stop the run and put everything on Lamar's shoulders, he crumbles. If you can get enough pressure on Joe Burrow and their defense is terrible enough, you control the clock, it's fine. And
Mhm.
Cleveland is Cleveland, and it's not the worst. It's not the hardest thing in the world. It's beating Jackson, then Mahomes and Allen in the playoffs or in whatever order.
Yeah. So let's talk about this from a fantasy perspective. And one of the big things that came to my mind, because you got Jalen Ramsey at corner, and for IDP's sake, you can talk about Jalen Ramsey. But the one thing that came to my mind was, Pat Fryermuth has been one of those that we've picked up off waivers to be a tight end replacement. So he doesn't usually fit in that top 14 that we draft every year. This move probably makes it so that he's definitely not even considered um, as a uh, as a top 14 guy. Is Jonnu Smith draftable uh, as somebody? If they say he's going to play fullback, he'll line up in the slot and he'll play second tight end. He'll be on the field like a good amount of the time. And does that make him somebody? Because before with the Dolphins, he's definitely he's like top
Hmm.
10
Yeah.
guy. I think he was sixth or seventh in points in tight ends for tight ends last year. We don't play in a two tight end league, unfortunately. So is Jonu somebody that you consider for fantasy, or is it now that he's splitting time with Freiermuth, is it just a non-play?
I think it's kind of a wait and see. There's no really way to know. I think Fryermuth definitely has the upper hand and is not lacking in skill or talent compared to Johnny by any means. But I think they both might have good weeks randomly. Hopefully, it's a matchup thing every week essentially. So it's going to be tough for fantasy purposes. Honestly, I don't think either one of their are draftable very high. If anything, I would take Fryermuth over Smith still, but it's kind of a more of a review punted on tight ends kind of
Mm-hmm.
situation.
Okay. Fantasy worthy Rogers. Is he top 28 quarterback, or is he somebody that's in the bottom four? Honestly.
Um, I think he's top 28. That's not saying a ton. Um,
Well, I mean, we play in a
uh,
14-team league with
yeah, I
two
know.
quarterbacks, so is he somebody that is a
Yeah, I
QB2?
mean, yeah, he's a QB too because he's not going to lose his job unless he's injured, basically. So you might want to take his handcuff, but I don't think it's necessary. I think just monitor the injury situation essentially because he's old. But I think he's definitely a QB2 because there's no fear of him losing his job. That's the biggest thing with QB2s is you might draft somebody that it might lose their job, and you have to either already have their backup or be monitoring that situation closely between what the coaches say every single week, which is just a pain.
Yeah. And things change, but from a personal perspective, he's my number 30.
I
I
think I
I
think
I
that's
have him
too
at
low,
30.
honestly. I probably have him at like 25
Okay, but
because
25 to me right now
mhm.
is Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah, I think that's
S-
pretty. I
So
think
you,
that's pretty fair. I think
I'll
that's
name
pretty
the
even.
people behind him: Geno, Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, Cam Ward. You think Aaron Rodgers is above those guys?
Yeah, yeah. Because if they get anywhere near the end zone, if defense gets them in good position, special teams has done well past couple of years, he'll have good chances for touchdowns, and he'll be able to just sling it in there to either a tight end or what's it called, or wide receiver DK Metcalf, for instance, at any point. I don't think that'd be too much of an issue.
Hmm. Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. The wide range of where we think Rodgers will go. I thought it wouldn't be as much of a mystery, but I guess I don't want to say talk is cheap, but when you're in July, the beginning of July, Rodgers may look a little better than when we see these people coming in training camps and start to put things together. I mean,
He's yeah, no, that's true.
you you may like some of these young kids like Cam Ward or Michael
He
Penix
scored
Jr.
300 points last year.
Rodgers?
Yes,
No, he didn't.
yes.
No, he didn't. Let me go back and look.
I'm looking at it right now.
He did score 300 points.
Yeah, I'm saying so. I mean, he's still got an arm. I mean, if they put him in good position, the run game's strong. They have two tight ends on the field to keep him upright. You know, it's not all bad. I just don't think it's going to equate to enough to actually matter at the end of the year, and it's just going to give us a worse draft pick. Fantasy wise, yeah, I think he's way better than 30th for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess we'll just have to see. All right, let's continue into the second round. So where we left off, we were talking about Neil and John, right? At the end, I said that Neil would take Saquon Barkley. You said that Neil might panic pick Brock Purdy because he's running out of time, which is a very interesting take.
Make sure
And
we
then
have the clock going, like big
yeah,
clock
make sure we have the
ticking
clock
down.
going and people standing around, making sure that people are using the clock properly. I said that John would take Justin Jefferson, the second wide receiver off the board, and then we are into the second round. So, um, do you have somebody that maybe John would pick at the top of the second round?
He'd probably take the next uh, best available quarterback, I would think at this point. Possibly running back if there's still a big one up there like Jameer Gibbs or Bijan or somebody like that. Maybe even Derrick Henry. Yeah.
So I so Bijan I thought was going to be taken by Michael in the first round. I think that John he does his AI thing. He's going to, have a program that tells him who to pick. He's going to have the top wide receiver available, the top running back, and the top quarterback available. And I think the top quarterback at this point is going to line up with somebody he also is like a hometown hero to him, right? At the moment. And so I think he takes Bo Nix at this point. So Justin Jefferson, then Bo Nix, and that's not a terrible pick, but it would be
It's
a
not.
relief to me picking two picks later. Um, what do you
It's
think
not.
of
I
Bo
mean,
Nix?
I think Bo Nix had an amazing year last year. I think he scored just shy of 400 points, 376. So it's tough to say he's not good. I mean, he's right behind Jane Daniels, basically. Um, it's just you always worry about the sophomore slump, but he has a really good defense behind him and seems to be getting more and more comfortable with his offense with Sean Payton. So I expect him to take another step forward, but we, like I said, we have always seen those sophomore slumps.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Next up, you got Neil. Neil took Saquon. I really think Neil's going to have this strategy with drafting in the 13th spot of, and he's done it in the past. It's not like a new strategy where I'm like, wow, he's really taking, but pushing quarterbacks behind
Yeah,
and really trying to get a good steal, especially when it comes to third, fourth, fifth rounds.
yeah.
So I think right now he's going to say, hey, this is a good time. I took Saquon in the first. This is a good time to jump on a wide receiver I'm going to say he takes CeeDee Lamb at this point.
Okay.
That's my third wide receiver on the board. I think that's most people's third wide receiver on the board. Adding George Pickens, I think that opens it up a little bit more for CD. He's going to get his 10 targets a game. So yeah, I think Neil goes Saquon CD, and it's really not that terrible of a of a pick there. So, uh, do you think Neil would do anything different? Maybe another quarterback or something like that?
No, that sounds pretty accurate. I mean, I think, like you said, trying to get the best value pick and punting on quarterbacks a little bit until later rounds. He hasn't made any trades, I believe, so he's got to pick every round right now.
He
So,
does. He does.
yeah.
There's only there's actually there's 8 teams that haven't traded, but almost half the league has traded picks. We're making it super difficult
Well,
for people
we'll
to
get
keep
the
track
other
of.
half. Don't worry.
You think?
We're
I don't
coming
know.
for
I
him.
think
Yeah.
I think that I think there's a lot of people who just don't get the pre-draft trade thing. They just want to
You know what we need
draft.
to do is have some drinks in person with some of them here. We should get them
Oh
together.
yeah? Maybe get
That's how we'll
like
get them.
get the maestro out?
Yeah, get the maestro out, get breadbasket, maybe notorious. You never know.
Okay. All right. Yeah, maybe we could do that. Next up is me. I traded for uh this pick from Trevor. This was the 456 that I traded
Oh
for
my.
2, 8, 10, 14.
Oh wow.
I'm sorry, 456 6. So I gave 2 6s
Two
for 2, 8,
sixes.
2 6s, 2, 8, 10, 14. What do you think I'd do here? What's your take on this?
When's your next pick? Because I know you have multiple picks in the second round.
It's Max's pick, Max's second round pick, which is 3 picks after that.
Hmm. This is tough. This is tough. For you, because you have nothing right now, I would go quarterback just to get somebody that
Mhm.
is viable. And there's already multiple running backs and wide receivers off the board. So yeah, I would have to go quarterback if I were you. What are you thinking?
So, I mean, I'll just be 100% transparent. I don't have a pick until the 8th round, right? Unless I want one of those bottom quarterbacks, and I
Yeah,
might not even get them. I have to take 2 quarterbacks here.
yeah, yeah.
I have to.
That's what I'm thinking.
So at this point, it's really tough to come out and say that I don't want a quarterback.
I agree.
I mean, I'm not gonna like try to fool people. I am pretty solidly thinking that I would take CJ Stroud here. Um,
I
I
see,
think,
and I think Michael would have taken him in the first round personally.
but Michael's next pick. That's why he's pick after me.
Oh, and he's gonna think he could have gotten him, but at that point, no.
Yeah, no, I mean, okay, that's fine. I'm just saying that that's what
If CJ Stroud was still there at the turn, John would have taken him in the first pick of the second round.
He is still there at the turn. Listen, CJ Stroud,
I'm
you're
just saying.
talking about points last year. CJ Stroud, he had just a really bad year.
No, I know he had a bad.
233 points.
I know he
You
had a
had him.
bad year. I know he had a
I,
bad year, but I still
I,
think people are going to take him early because he's a hometown favorite. He's got good weapons. People expect him to bounce back, and people get panic in a live draft when quarterbacks are flying off the board, and you might end up with, you know, hold on, with Bryce Young as your quarterback, and so, that yeah, exactly.
I don't think
You
that's
don't want
terrible. I really
as your
don't.
QB1.
We just talked about Neil. I have no doubt in my mind that that might be a strategy that Neil has, where he's like, if Bryce Young is my QB1 and I have stacked everything else, then I'm looking at a playoff team. And I don't necessarily disagree with that.
And you know what, that is basically the Steelers mentality. We'll get to the playoffs and we'll lose again. Like you need to go for a championship. Stop going for the playoffs.
Well,
It's so that's
I disagree and think that CJ Stroud will not be picked in
okay.
in the first round. And so those first 2 picks, I also have doubts that
shot bet when he gets either picked or not picked in the first round.
Okay, yeah, I'll take shot bet that he doesn't.
And we'll
So
do it there at the draft. All right.
right. So next up is Michael. Sorry, Michael. I just took CJ Stroud. What do you think he takes?
I could well. Like I said, I think he goes quarterback in the first round. So now I think he goes running back.
Yeah.
There's a
Best
lot of
running back
choices.
available is at this point going to be McCaffrey.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see him taking McCaffrey. Yeah, I could also see him. I mean, when do you think rookies start entering into the mix, like Genty, for instance?
So Genty and McCaffrey, it's just what do you want? Do you want the
Yeah.
young guy from the Raiders that has a coach who has when he's been coach, their rush attempts have been 11th or higher every single year of his career. So that team, the Raiders, are going to run the ball a fuck ton, right? Do you want the kid? I mean, he was a star at Boise State. Do you want that? So that's my sale for Genty. Also can catch the ball, multifaceted. You know. Or do you want Christian McCaffrey, who consensus lottery pick 2 years ago? Last year was kind of a risk and was a failure. Is supposed to be completely healthy now, over his injuries, but a year older. It's risky, but I've gone over this many times. I don't know which one you go with. Do you go with the home run? Because Christian McCaffrey comes out and is anything like Christian McCaffrey, it's a first rounder.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean he's 29.
Yes. That one thing that I struggle with
30.
is right. But one thing I struggle with is that the Raiders might suck. And if the Raiders suck, then Genty's not going to get they're going to be in a lot of situations where Genty's not going to be able to score you fantasy points. So that's concerning to me, is that you're watching the Raiders. I mean, when's the last time a Raiders anybody was a fantasy first or second round pick?
Yeah.
Like, name one. There's
no, I can't.
It really hasn't. Like, they're just not a good football team. And I know they got Pete Carroll, and Kelly, and they have a whole new way of looking at things. And they got Genty and new quarterback.
Then
decent.
I could then I would definitely say maybe Christian McCaffrey or Derrick Henry then.
Yeah, I personally think he goes quarterback because he went Bijan the first
like I said, I said if he goes quarterback, he'd go running back now. So if you think he went running back first, he'd go quarterback here. Which would be who for you?
Kyler Murray. I think he'd go Kyler Murray at this point.
I think Kyler Murray's already off the board.
It's impossible. You keep saying that people are already off the board.
They're gone.
We're only 16
30
picks
in the first round. Don't you know?
We're only 16
They won't make it out of the top 5, which includes 10 picks.
He's taken.
Yeah.
He's taken.
He's gone.
All these people cannot be taken.
Name your next guy.
Keep naming guys.
All right. Kyler Murray. All right.
Kyler Murray. So then it's your pick, but you don't have it. So it's Cameron. This is Cameron's first pick.
Ooh.
Well, you say ooh, but this is what you traded.
I know, but I'm just saying that's gross that it's his first pick. That's gross to me. Yeah.
Come on.
Your first pick isn't until the second round.
Gross. He will have the last he will pick last out of everybody, basically. So who do you think? I mean, we just talked about Christian McCaffrey. That's who I think he goes here, is Christian McCaffrey. Who do you think?
That would be like punting on quarterbacks, though. Again, I mean, that's. Ooh. I mean, he has another second round pick, I guess, but I could see Christian McCaffrey. I could also see um, a quarterback here like Jordan Love or somebody like that.
Yeah.
Try to, like I said, because you can feel the tension in the room. The quarterbacks are flying off the board. And you're like, oh God.
But he has other picks.
He does. He does.
He has a pick at the top of the third and yours in the third. So he
Yeah,
has two coming up. So it's not imperative for him to pick a quarterback right here.
it's not.
And I just think that he goes Christian McCaffrey because I mean, the mentality that I have as well, because I've looked at Christian McCaffrey, the mentality that I have is that if Christian McCaffrey is good, you're hitting a home run. It's literally swinging for the fences here. So
Yeah.
yeah, you may get screwed, and you probably need to draft the San Francisco's handcuff, but you're going for that lottery pick in the second round, and
Yeah.
it's possible that you could do that. So, um, yeah, that's who I think. Then it's Max's pick, which is my pick, in the second round. I at this point will go Ashton Genty. Um,
Oh, that's what you want, even though they might suck.
yeah, I just think that it's too because like you said, right now, I'm trying to fill in my team, and
Yeah.
I think the cliff from Ashton Genty to the next quarter running back is extreme.
Yeah.
So I've got CJ Stroud. I want to get a running back. I've got the next pick as well that I'll pick a quarterback. Uh, I'm going to go ahead uh, and pick uh, Ashton Genty here. I again, I'm kind of trying to hit a home run as well. So I'll go there at that. Then the next pick is mine as well. Second round. This is a very like informative episode of people who actually listen to the podcast. If you want to know what like I'm thinking right now in early July, uh,
Yeah. So
at
all
that
four of
point,
you get listen up.
yeah, all four of you. Listen, this is my second round strategy. Um, like right now, uh, I would probably go Justin Herbert. Like I'm trying to win. I think that this offense is made to move with Lad McConkey. I think Lad's going to take a big step forward. I would love to get a stack and jack, but with the trades that I've made preseason, kind of eliminates that.
Mhm.
So I'm going to go Justin Herbert here. So you got Justin Herbert, C.J. Stroud, and Ashton Genty. I think that's um, good value for what I traded. I got two quarterbacks. I've got, um, you know, I'm pretty. I want to take a receiver with Clay's second round pick. That's two picks ahead, and I'm pretty confident that with Cause taking Jamar Chase in the first round, in the second round he's going to want to take a quarterback, so I can get a what should be the fourth best wide receiver. Um, so two quarterbacks, a top running back, and a top wide receiver. You know. So yeah, I'm taking Justin Herbert.
I don't
Cause,
think that's who you take. I don't think that's who you take. Um,
who do you
I
think I take?
I think you end up with like uh JJ McCarthy or something like that.
JJ McCarthy is my quarterback. Um, let's see,
Panic pick McCarthy.
21. He's
Yeah.
21.
Yeah, you can panic pick McCarthy. There it
I,
is.
I do not think that 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 is
We'll see. Only time will
something I
tell.
do. Panic pick McCarthy. Um, as far as quarterback ones, Herbert is my 12.
So
Okay, so right, and
he's right at the
that
edge there.
everybody else is taken except for Jordan Love, who I think gets taken right here.
Yeah.
So Jordan Love goes to Cause with the uh, eighth pick in the second round. So he's got Jamar Chase and then Jordan Love. Then it's my pick again. I'm going to go wide receiver. I know, right?
It's ridiculous.
I'm going to go wide receiver at this point. So no Chase, no Jefferson, no Lamb. Who's the fourth best wide receiver to you?
Tyreek Hill, just based off of because Tyreek Hill to me is another guy that you can hit a home run with. I feel like I know his points don't show it last year, but I feel like it to me it gets dicey after that because yes, there's Amon-Ra St. Brown, but personally, I'm not a huge fan of their offense with a lot of pieces they lost in the offseason. There's Scary Terry. He's consistent, but there's Mike Evans, but you're putting your eggs in Baker Mayfield continuing to be good, which I'm sure that floor is going to fall out at some point. Personally, like I said, I like Tyreek Hill just because I think there's a chance he could be, if he stays healthy all year, he could be their number one wide receiver. That wouldn't be a crazy thing to hear at the end of the year.
Tyreek Hill is.
You think he's past his prime?
Rounder. He's a fourth.
You're fourth rounder? You're crazy.
Okay.
You're crazy.
Listen, and from what I've discussed with people around the league thus far, just casual football conversation.
Past his prime, huh?
The Dolphins as a whole. Like,
what?
We don't want any Dolphins.
It in? They're packing it in
Are you going to pick Tua? You going to pick Tua?
No, but I've always
after all the shit you talked last year, you pick Tua.
I have publicly always said I don't like Tua. I've never been on the bandwagon. You've always been a part of the team, of the Tua team with the whole offense and Tyreek Hill and everything. So that's you. That's your bandwagon.
There is
now you're off. You jumped off.
Yeah, I mean,
you abandoned them just like that. Okay.
I think it took a year of absolutely awful points. Just terrible points where it's just like ruining your fantasy team. Yeah, I don't want Tua.
So who's your next wide receiver off the board then?
It's Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I think that Amon-Ra has been a tank as far as wide receivers. I think he's been on truly successful fantasy teams in our league. And it always helps, right? So like we've got some like good players or players that have been good, but like have they been on teams that have made to the championship? Have they been on teams that have won a championship? Like Amon-Ra St. Brown has. He's won a championship for me. He's won a championship for Cameron. I really think Amon-Ra St. Brown is a bona fide number one wide receiver.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is my wide receiver 15.
Okay. That is low.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hate him. And
well, I didn't say that. I just ranked him where I ranked him.
Well, as far as points last year, he was third.
Yeah.
What makes him drop 12 spots?
That's just my opinion.
Okay. Well, that's where I'm taking him. You hate my team. You hate him.
A little bit.
All right. Next up, I'm done for 6 rounds. So
you're seriously?
Yeah.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. What do you have?
Amon-Ra St. Brown, Ashton Genty, CJ Stroud, and Justin Herbert. So 2 QB1s to me, and a wide receiver, top 5 wide receiver, and a top 5 running back. Okay, I think that's good enough to win. Or at least make the playoffs. Yeah, I'm not going to have I really have to hit it in the 8th round. I really do. I have to hit a lot.
Got a lot of home runs. So next episode we're covering the 8th round. It's going to be great.
No. Next we'll go in order. But next up is Chase's pick. Chase had Jaden Daniels in the 1st round. What do you think Chase does here?
I think he goes for a wide receiver because he sees him starting to fly off the board. I could see him taking either like Puka Nacua or Nico Collins.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I thought about Nico Collins. Like I really did think about Nico Collins, which I think Chase picks here.
Yeah.
Um, I thought about taking Nico Collins to do the CJ Stroud,
Hmm.
Nico. It's like my one shot at a good stack and jack.
Hmm.
Um, but I just can't do it.
Can't
I,
do
I,
it.
r-
T-
I really honestly can't do it over Amon Ra just because Amon Ra got third in points last year. Jared Goff has been super consistent. Uh,
Mhm.
you know, I just like Amon Ra that much better than Nico Collins, especially, with the troubles that the Texans O line had. Nico's going to get his good share of targets. I just like Amon Ra better, but I think Chase takes Nico here. Uh, Next up is Danny. Danny took Jalen Hurts. I think he takes another a quarterback here. Who do you have?
Mm, for Danny,
All
he's
to
such a
me,
wild
all
card.
QB ones have taken. So now we're in the QB2 range.
Yeah, but it's tough. I mean, Danny's such a wild card. I think Danny could team name could be wild card if you really wanted to. He is a wild
Really,
card. Yeah.
Danny, change your name to Wildcard. That would really make things confusing.
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, we're getting into a lot of gray area here. I feel like because I do feel like he does take a quarterback, but who's your next quarterback off the board?
It's going to be well, it's going to be
Like,
Drake May, but I don't think he takes Drake May.
see, I don't think so either because that's not a sexy pick. I feel like
Right.
I could see him taking Caleb Williams maybe,
That's
but
that's who I
you
think.
know,
Yeah. So I have
you
Drake
know,
May above him, but I think he takes Caleb
yeah,
Williams.
but I think he takes Caleb Williams. Yeah,
Yep. I think he likes Caleb Williams. He says, "Hey, there's a lot of ceiling," so he goes Jalen Hurts and Caleb Williams right
yeah.
there. I think
There's
we're in
ceilings
agreement on there.
everywhere. Ceilings everywhere. A lot of
Cameron's up.
ceilings.
A lot of ceilings. Cameron's up. All he has is Christian McCaffrey right now, so he's about to probably take a quarterback. He's watched a lot of quarterbacks go off the board.
Mm.
Um,
He's going to take Justin Fields.
I think you may be right, but I think he would take Drake May. I think he does take
I,
Drake May.
Drake May's such a boring pick.
Nah, not
It's
really. How is
it's
it boring? Because he
he's
has no
the
weapons around him?
he is a warm bowl of mayonnaise left out in the sun. It's not sexy. Okay, it's probably growing something. It's
Oh,
gross.
gosh.
I'm just saying, like, I bet he still goes Justin Fields because what highlights do you want to watch each week? Drake May getting sacked, Justin Fields running for a 60-yard touchdown. He's gonna take the latter.
Yeah. Well, I think he takes Drake May. Listen, Drake May's comparison is uh Josh Allen. And I know it's like laughing, like, oh my God. But he's got the big
Oh, that's
what?
good. Oh,
It
that's
is. That's
good.
his comp.
Yeah,
That's
he
his
is the
comp.
he is the next Josh Allen this
He
year.
is.
He's gonna he's bona fide. Oh my
What? I
God,
mean,
it's
what
good.
what is
No, that's good. That's good
okay.
stuff. You came prepared today.
Well, that's his comp, and I'm just telling you that Josh Allen
Um,
does not work with a bunch of weapons on the outside. Josh Allen works with people in short range. He makes them look good. He used the open field to run, and he creates space with his legs. Like he is a
and
tanky Lamar, right?
Drake May does that,
Drake May has been compared to that. He did that. He did that in college, and
but he hasn't
last
done
year
it at the professional level.
he had some really. I mean, there weren't those games that he scored 40 points, but Drake May looked like Josh Allen did in 2018 when I won my championship. He was a QB2, Josh Allen, and it was just like somebody who you were like, is he going to be good? Is he not going to be good? And then suddenly, in the years following, he's top five QB, and then top QB. Like
You're saying he's
it's,
home run potential.
I would say Drake May is home run potential, yes, and I would
Wow.
say that I would love to take him, but if I don't hit on those round two picks, my season's over. It's
It's
like
done.
totally done. Yeah, like it's absolutely done.
It's
So,
over.
uh, yeah. So Drake May here. Hedman's up. I have Hedman taking a quarterback as well, and
Stafford.
uh it's not Justin Fields. So I think Justin Fields, people are just like, I like Justin Fields, but I think people are shitting on Justin Fields. I think they're going to be like, the Jets sucked ass. The Jets continue to suck ass, and Justin Fields can't throw. So it's just going to be a bunch of Brees Hall run game, and they're just going to be bad. And Justin Fields is done. So that's what I think people are going to think. I like him. Like I said, I like him. But I think Hedman goes Trevor Lawrence. I think with the addition of Travis Hunter, uh, Brian Thomas Jr. being like what you said, bona fide, like he's a bona fide superstar. He's a bona fide top 10 wide receiver. Um, I think he takes Trevor Lawrence here. I think that he takes, like, he has Josh Allen in the first. Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence is a pretty damn good way to start a team. So that's what I think. Do you think Hedman takes anything else, a wide receiver or running back?
I could see him taking Stafford. Just
Stafford, he's coming up, but it's just,
I know. I just see it sometimes. But yeah, I think Trevor Lawrence is a good comparison that he could probably take. I just
yeah,
I'm not a huge fan of the Jaguars offense this year at all.
yeah.
I think it's on downturn personally. But yes, draft them early, draft them quick.
I mean, it's just Trevor Lawrence is like on year 3 of a sexy pick. It's going to be because they keep adding people on there, and he
And he
keeps like,
keeps getting worse. Trevor
yeah,
Lawrence keeps getting worse.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't ever lived up to his lofty fantasy expectations. So, yes, you are correct. And the Jaguars continue to suck ass. So, um, yeah, you're right. Uh, last pick in the second round. So you got Brad, right? You got Lamar Jackson in the first. Brad's coming up in the second round. He's got 2 picks in a row. I think one's a quarterback, but it doesn't go here. We'll
Mm-hmm.
talk about his quarterbacks that he takes next week. Here, I think he takes a wide receiver,
Was he going to
and
take like Puka?
he's going to take Puka, I think.
Puka.
So the people behind him are going to be Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas. I don't think Brad knows who Malik Neighbors is per se.
Like he's
I don't
never met
think,
him.
like, if you walked up to Brad and you were like, "Hey, what team does Malik Neighbors play for, and what position does he play?" He would not know either of those
He'd be
questions.
like linebacker for the Lions.
Yeah, like I don't know, but I think he does know Puka Nakua based on his name, based on like his name's
Mm-hmm.
Puka Nakua. That's pretty
That's
memorable,
his
and
name.
right, and like so I think, and also you know, past Rams teams, I feel like Brad has had a piece of it or played against a piece of those teams. So I think Puka Nakua goes here, and Brad starts out wide receiver 5, 6, wide receiver 6, and quarterback 1, which isn't awful. I mean, it's a recipe for the playoffs for sure. Do you think Brad does anything else here?
I could see him go. Maybe not with this pick. Well, if he doesn't do that, I could see him doing something crazy like Travis Hunter or something like that too,
Okay.
which is crazy to me.
Yeah. I
Crazy.
I mean, if he went Travis Hunter there, that would
Just to
take
have
a
the wide receiver cornerback.
it would take a big load off my mind because that's a big mystery, right? I won't lie where I said that part of the um, reason that I traded up into the second round. First of all, I wanted to get out of the 8th pick. I think the 8th pick is probably the worst pick in the first round. And I think Clay realizes that as well now and is trying to sell it for moves. So if you're listening, don't do that because it's a
Don't
bad
buy it.
pick. Don't buy that pick. It is a bad pick. But that was one of my things was if I keep trading up in the second round, I don't have to play that game. I had bought a good amount of picks, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Um, I want Travis Hunter. I like Travis Hunter. I said whether you think it's facetious or not, that I thought he could be a first round top 5 wide receiver ish pick. Um, After looking at it, it seems like you could be committing suicide in the second round or late first or even early third if you do that. Brad can do that with Lamar Jackson. That's not a terrible pick.
Yeah.
Like that is something that's reasonable. If I don't have a third or a fourth or a fifth or a sixth, I don't have to worry about Travis Hunter, right? I've picked my quarterbacks, my wide receiver, and my running back. Like I don't have to worry about it. I am good. I don't have to rack my brain over whether he's going to be taken in the third or late second or the fourth or whatever. That's fine. I have to let somebody else take a risk based on the trades that I've made in the preseason. So, um, if you're right, good for Brad, right? I think he's going to do awesome, and it's going to feel good for Brad when he's got the best quarterback in the draft and that wide receiver corner flexibility. And if he blows up, he blows up. If he sucks and never plays defense and is just putting up wide receiver 2 numbers, he's always got Lamar Jackson to back it up. So
Yeah.
not a bad choice there. All right, finishing up this podcast, I got one more thing for you. Rookies. Give me the rookie that you are most excited to watch. Give me the rookie that you're most excited about.
I mean, Genti is probably, I think, probably the most exciting one. That's probably pretty easy because the biggest thing, I know you said that the Raiders are might be a terrible team, but
Mm,
they've honestly kind of been terrible over the past 10 years anyways, and they've put up some pretty big numbers rushing wise. They've had some top 5 running backs and things like that. Josh Jacobs was there, he had 2,000 yards, and they were terrible, but they just kept running the ball. They didn't care at all. And
mhm.
so I think that's something that really plays to him. That yeah, that'd probably be the most exciting just because he is pretty exciting to watch.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
about
That
you?
um, I think so. This is a huge running back draft. Huge running back draft. There's like 4 or 5 guys that probably need to be rostered as a running back 1 or 2, or not 1 or 2, or right there at the 2 mark. Um, I think Caleb Johnson is somebody I'm super, super excited about. I think that this
Yeah.
is a guy that could be, I don't know what Tomlin's ideas are for running back. I don't know if he's going to feature, um, who's your guy, your backup for last year behind Najee.
Um, it's a good question. I can see his face.
Yeah,
Um,
he's good.
yeah, he's not bad, but yeah, I kind of think they both split time. And that's the only thing that hurts Caleb Johnson
Yeah,
is
is Mike Tomlin. I think that if he
yeah.
got the whole package there, that Caleb Johnson is a second round pick or third round pick, but he's not. And so, yeah, Jalen Warren.
Jalen Warren.
Jalen
Yeah.
Jalen Warren is probably going to get some time, probably needs to be owned
Oh
in
yeah.
fantasy circles. And so it's like, what am I getting out of Caleb Johnson? But I'm excited to see what happens because I really think with all this talk of Aaron Rodgers and all this talk of we need to be balanced, I think Aaron Rodgers going in the Steelers and part of the talks that they had, I can't prove this and I don't know what, whatever, but I think Caleb John or Aaron Rodgers came in there and Mike Tomlin was like, come on over to the Steelers, but we're going to run the fuck out of the ball. Um, and
Yep.
we're not gonna play the game where you're passing 40 something times a game, 50 something times a game. Like
Yep.
we're gonna run the ball and we're gonna play short football, and I'm gonna call the offensive plays, and that's what's going to, uh, you you know, that's what he bought into. So I like Johnson and Warren for the offensive season, but I'm really excited for Caleb Johnson.
Yeah.
All right, that is it, Scott, for our second episode of the Gridiron Fantasy Season. Anything else you got to say before we reconvene next week on Thursday this time?
Not too much, like I said, just getting more excited about the season coming up, getting excited for our draft coming up. I feel like
Hmm.
that's coming up even closer than the beginning of the season, obviously. And thinking about what day are you getting there? Are you getting there on Thursday or Friday?
Thursday. So
Okay.
that's part of the reason that I was like flying at a hobby. I took a
Oh,
Southwest
you're
flight.
you're
It was
you're
cheap.
going you're going hobby. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
it's with Michael in that draft
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
in that flight.
Okay. Awesome. You should
So
pick him up early and ice him on the way. That'll be good.
yeah, I mean
Um,
maybe well, maybe that is in the cards. We'll see.
Yeah, so I'm going Thursday as well. I'm not taking the same flight though. I'm going out of Bush, and so I'll meet you guys there. I think we land just about the same time.
Yep.
So
All right.
that'll be fun. Like I said, looking forward to it. Getting more amped up for the season. Looking forward to it. Let's go.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we will talk to you guys next week on Thursday, and we will go over round 3. See ya.